Okay, good evening, everyone. I won't speak about the parasha today, as I usually bring some from the parasha, because I spoke a lot about it. I had a very long lecture last night in Brooklyn, and in one lecture I covered everything. So I will speak about several different things. Before I start what I want to really talk about, I wanted to ask you a question. Tell me what you think. Reuven, it's an actual story that happened. This case really happened. It ended up in a Jewish court. Reuven asked Shimon to watch his apartment, his neighbor, while he's going to Israel. So he told him, for 2 weeks I won't be here. Check the mail, check the apartment. So he left him the key, and he told him, be very careful not to give the key to anybody, just you. So after a few days, he saw that the truck is coming into the building, and they're delivering a couch to his friend Reuven, Shimon, that has the key. So they come and they knock on his door, and they said, do you know by any chance how can we reach this guy, this apartment? And he says, not here. So wow, he ordered a couch, and we have to deliver the couch. So he didn't know what to do. So he said, okay, let me open it to you and deliver the couch. So he opened the apartment. They put the couch in, and he locked the apartment. So he didn't give them the key. That's it. When Reuven came back from Israel, 20 minutes after he arrived to the apartment, he banged on Shimon's apartment, went crazy. He told him, who did you let into the apartment? He told him, only the delivery for the couch, but I was there, I watched them as they just put it and they left, they didn't touch anything. He told him, you fool, I never ordered any couch. They cleaned my whole safe, there was $500,000 in it in cash. They cleaned the safe. So he said to him, but I don't understand, I did not leave their site for 1 second. I just opened, they put the couch in the living room and they left. It was 1 minute. They didn't go to the rooms, nothing. So he told him, inside the couch, there was a man hidden. That's the only way. They hid a person, they opened the bottom of the couch, they put a person there, they closed it, and they delivered the couch, and now he's inside the apartment. And he had all the time in the world. They knew that he's not there. They had hours to crack the safe. Now he's suing him in Beit Din to pay him $500,000. Now, if you're the judge, what do you do in a case like this?
He didn't pay to him to watch the apartment, right? He didn't pay.
He didn't pay, you're right. If he paid, it makes it worse. Shomer Chinam, yes. So far, you're on the right track. You remember a few things from 1 year ago.
Isn't Shomer Chinam patur when it comes to theft?
Shomer Chinam is only patur if he did not make any crime. Im lo pasha. If you gave him something and he left it on a chair and went and came back after an hour and it's gone, he has to pay. If he left the window open, he has to pay. If he left the door where he was supposed to watch the item, he left the door unlocked, he has to pay. If he did anything out of the ordinary, which makes it his fault, then he has to pay. But if he behaved normally, everything was locked and they broke the door or anything like that, or somebody came with a knife to him or anything like that, then he doesn't have to pay. Because I'm doing you a favor, now I have to pay? But over here, the question is if this considered pshia or no. That's what it comes down to. The Beit Din have to decide if there's negligence here.
Yeah, he was not supposed to let anybody in.
He didn't. That's the point. If he would say, make sure no one comes in, then you're right. Then there's no question. But he didn't say that. He said, don't give the key to anybody. And he kept his words. He never gave the key to anyone. Now he's trying to do good. If somebody deliver a couch, doesn't want them to go without delivering the couch. It may cost him more money. You know, there's all kinds of things. Where in the world you would think that they hide a person inside the couch? No? What do you say, Jeff?
I don't know, my question is that Reuben should have told Shimon that he was expecting a couch. Why would he just...
That's what it comes down to. Shimon comes to Beit Din. He say, I obviously would tell him, if I order a couch, I'm expecting a delivery.
Yeah.
You should have known that. You should have known something is fishy here. Did they just put a chandelier here in the shul, or it was always there, over there? Huh? No, the other one, by the ladies.
They put it in last week.
Last week. Oh, so I'm not losing my mind. I'm speaking here for more than a year. I never saw the chandelier. What's going on with me?
Is it possibly that he's partially guilty, not fully, but partially? He cannot be exempt completely. Because he did violate certain thing, he let somebody in.
In guilt, when it comes to money, there's no partial guilt. You're either guilty for the whole thing or you dismiss for the whole thing. Yeah. So in a case like this, we have to decide if it was negligence or not. If there was, he has to pay. If not, he's dismissed.
I mean, why he give him the keys if he doesn't want to anybody?
To check on in the apartment that nobody broke in, to check the mail, to put the mail inside, things like that.
Okay. Well, it's probably it's not the person's fault, I think, because it could have occurred to anybody there, if he would have asked anybody else, the same thing it would have occurred.
So the answer is that he's dismissed. He doesn't have to pay. Why? Because he did not violate any of his instructions. If he would give the key to someone, even for 1 minute, then he would be guilty, because he told him, don't give the key. But in this case, he didn't tell him, don't make sure no one step into the apartment. If he told him that, then we would have to check now if he's guilty or not. If he said, make sure no one comes into the apartment, but he made them deliver the couch watching them, is he violating his instructions or not? In a case like this.
No.
If he told him, make sure no one goes into the apartment, so he could come and say, I thought he meant make sure no one goes into the apartment unsupervised. If I'm watching him and it's only for 10 seconds, he dropped the couch in and out, what's in it to go into the apartment? What, the floor is made from gold? What's the problem? The idea is not to leave anyone in the apartment. So I went there to check. I'm doing him a favor. He needs a couch. In a case like this, then we'll have a very hard case. Because he violated his instruction, but he meant well.
It's an extraordinary example of what you brought up. I love it. Just the idea of it. I mean, I never thought in my wildest dream that anybody would come in the couch.
First of all, it's not my idea. It's a reality. It's happened in reality. It really happened.
That's pretty good.
Then it will be a hard case to know, because the halacha said that if he warned him, then he's guilty. But still, the term warned him has to be determined what kind of warning the Torah meant. Is this violating his warning by watching the people that deliver a couch, or no? That's the case. Plus, we have to know if there was any way to know about a case like this, that it's something common, that people would put somebody in a couch. If it happens a few times before, then he should have thought about it. But in a case like this, it didn't even cross his mind. So I don't really know what would be the case in a Beit Din if he told him, make sure no one stepped into the apartment. In a case like this, most likely, dry law is guilty. But sometimes you have the dry law, and then when you go into Beit Din, you find out that the Dayanim are trying to dismiss him because they know really it's not his fault. So they find, so either they do a pshara, settlement, that he pays some of it, and they make them agree on some kind of amount that they both kind of happy. I give you another case, speaking about these things. Reuven lent his cell phone to his friend Shimon. 2 youths, they're older than bar mitzvah. And the Rabbi from the yeshiva saw that he's playing with that in the middle of class, so he took it away from him. They told him it's suspended until the end of the year. It happens. You cannot have your phone. You want your phone, make your parents come. He doesn't want his parents to come to know who he is, you know. So Reuven comes to him and says, "Where's my phone?" He said, "My Rabbi has it. He doesn't tell me where it is." So I told him, "I'm very sorry, you have to buy me a new phone." He said, "Why should I buy you a new phone? Your phone exists. It's in the hand of this guy. He's the thief. Go get it from him." What do you think? "Areh shelcha lefanecha." Here it is. Go get it. It's a little bit similar if you went to someone's house and you stole a few bottles of whiskey before Pesach. Each bottle $100. You have $1,000 bucks in your hand. You stole it. So right after Pesach, you made tshuva. You decided to become religious. Just a few days ago, you ate chametz on Pesach. Now you decided to return the whiskey. So you come to your friend and say, "I'm very sorry, here is your whiskey." And he said to you, "You fool, I can't use this whiskey. It doesn't worth a penny anymore. I had to sell it for chametz. It's chametz שעבר עליו הפסח. Chametz that was in a position of a Jew in a Pesach cannot be used ever again." So he told him, "I'm very sorry. I know in the book it says to return the object. I stole A, I'm returning A. The reality in the world, it's not my problem." It's like saying, when you stole the whiskey, it worth $1,000. Now there was crash in the market. Now it's worth only 100. So he say to you, "Hey, you stole 1,000. Now you're returning 100. No, I want $1,000 cash, because at the time of the stealing, it was $1,000 cash." In a case like this, he said, "Areh shelcha lefanecha." I took whiskey, here is whiskey. I took a pound of sugar, here's a pound of sugar. It went up and down, doesn't matter, anyway, I had to buy it. So I'm returning to you exactly what it is. Same thing if you give someone in Israel a loan in dollars, and the shekel went up or down. If the shekel went down, now he has to pay you, instead of $1,000 loan that you gave him, he really has to buy it for $1,100. So he comes to you and he say, "Hey, I can't really give you $1,100. I mean, I can give it to you because you gave me $1,000. When you gave me $1,000, it was 3,600 shekel. Now the dollar went up in Israel, so now I have to give you 4,000 shekel. I'm giving you interest. So I have to give you $900 in order for it to be the same amount in shekel." But the American guy say, "It's not my problem. I gave you $1,000 as I use it in America. You're giving me $1,000 to use in America. What do I care how much you're buying it for?"
But what was the agreement between them two at the beginning?
No, there's no agreement. If there's agreement, then obviously agreement is always what you agree with a person. The question is, there's no agreement. Now they're fighting. You say, "What do I care? I gave you $1,000. You're giving me $900. I'm losing $100 in America." So, okay, you want to charge me interest? Go ahead. We both go to hell. That's what happened. It happens all the time, by the way. This is a very common issue. So what's the answer? Huh?
Don't charge interest.
He doesn't really charge any interest. He gave 1,000, he get back 1,000. But he has to pay now 10% more a month
He
later.
has to pay that even the 10% more, because the idea was the concept that he stole X amount and he has to return exactly what he took back. So
Over here it's pretty simple. You took 1,000, you have to give back 1,000. It's not my problem how much it costs you to buy it, because the interest doesn't come to me. If anybody made the money, it's somebody else, not me. I gave exactly what I gave you. Same thing now. If I got a watch that worth $20,000, I have a friend that works for Rolex, and he gave it to me the manufacturer price, $10,000 instead of $20,000. So now I have a watch, it's worth $20,000. So you ask me to use my watch in a wedding night, your wedding night. So you put it on, somebody stole it. The next day you come back, you say, "Oh, the watch got stolen. Let me give you $10,000 cash. So I say to him, why 10,000? Give me the same watch, same model, same everything. I gave you a watch, give me a watch. So it's not fair. You only pay 10,000 for it. If I have to buy it now, it's going to cost me 20. So I say to him, it's your fault, not mine. What does it have to do with me? I gave you a watch, I want a watch. And he come and say, no, I lost for you 10,000 from your pocket. And I'm giving you back the 10,000. Who's right? That's a harder one than before. Good point. Things like this happen all the time, no? Who's right?
You're right.
I'm always right. So technically, I'll answer it in a second. I'll give you another example. Your friend sends you to the store to buy him something. Chocolates for his party. Do me a favor. Here, take $500, go buy. He gives you a list. Buy 10 pounds of this kind of chocolate, 5 pounds of Belgian chocolate, 3 pounds of Swiss chocolate, 10 pounds of Israeli chocolate. He gives him a list. He comes to the store, and there is the owner of the store. He knows him. They went to school together. Oh, Moshe, I didn't know you own the store. Wow, how are you, buddy? So since it's his friend, instead of giving him, for instance, he was supposed to give him, let's say, 50 pounds of chocolate for the $500. So he gave him extra 5 bonus. Here, that's extra for you on the house. Who gets it? You get it, or since you were a messenger for your friend, for his party, his money got you the extra 5 pounds. So who has to get it? 3 options. He gets it, you gets it, or you have to split 50-50. What do you think the case is?
Does the owner of the money knows that he might get an extra with this money? Does the owner of the money knows he can get an extra?
He didn't know. He expected to get 50 pounds of chocolate.
He gave it to him because he was his friend.
But he found out that he got an extra box. So what's this box? Here it's 50, and you see another box. You say, oh, he gave it to me, extra bonus.
The messenger keeps it.
The messenger keeps it?
So what? That's his money.
The messenger, it's the hand of the owner of the money. You should know the rule. If I send you to do something for me, so your hand is actually mine.
Yeah.
You understand? But if I send you to make a scene for me, go kill this guy, then you're guilty. Because en shaliach ledvar avera. You cannot come and say, oh, he's the one who paid me for the heat. Go to him. No, my friend. Or he sent me to rob the store. No. It's your responsibility. But for mitzvah, if a person sends his friend to give a get to his wife, and he hand her the get, she opens the door, your husband gave this to you. She see it, you're divorced. So it's count like you gave it to him. A messenger come and testify, I put it in her hand, finished, it's divorced.
That means extra chocolate belongs to the owner.
So based on that, it should be that the chocolate belongs to the owner, right? So technically it's correct. Let me explain to you the difference. Every little detail changed the entire law. Sometimes it can be in millions. Over here it's only chocolate. But the idea can play even for millions of dollars. Because sometimes you buy diamonds for $50 million and the guy liked you and he took off 1%. That could be already millions for who's getting it. So the answer is like this, listen good. If the store offer promotion to all customers, regardless, no you, not you, somebody else, you'll still get the promotion. Buy one, get one free, or they have 10% off today, or something was a little bit damaged, so they give you because of that some kind of thing. So that goes to the owner of the money. He sent it to you. So that means you got the promotion thanks to his money. But if they give you the bonus thanks to your beautiful eyes or friendship from high school, that's your money. Then you get it. Why? Because it would be a different messenger, he wouldn't get it. So my friendship with the guy got me the 5 pounds. Even though it wouldn't happen without your money, it's true, because I wouldn't go to the store. But if you start thinking, well, if I wouldn't know you, I wouldn't meet my wife. If I wouldn't know you, I wouldn't find my job. So it's your fault now. I found my job, and because of that they stole from me such and such, so you're the one who told me about the job, you come and make it up to me. It doesn't work that way. It's everything in life is connected to somebody. If you start calculate everything you do in your life, whose fault it is, you'll find thousands of people that are guilty. That's the same thing about Birkat Hamazon. So when you make Birkat Hamazon, you ate a piece of bread, whatever you ate, you have to do Birkat Hamazon. Technically, if a person would have to thank every person that participated in bringing the bread to your plate, you would have to thank 5 million, 10 million people separately, one by one. Your entire life. You took one slice of bread, now you had to say thank you to millions of people. What's the connection? Piece of bread worth 10 cents, not even. So because I got 10 cents, now I have to thank 5 million people, each one of them, that they participated in bringing me the slice of bread to my table. Why, first of all, you have to thank so many people? Why? Because the answer is that right now you went to the store and you gave money to the employee over there and he gave you the bread. But how many people are responsible for the bread to arrive to you? First, the person who put the sign in the bakery. Thanks to that, you saw the bakery in first place. You have to say thank you to him. The person who made the glass. If there wouldn't be glass, there wouldn't be bakery. Right? They couldn't open without this glass. You have to say thank you to him. The person who installed the light. The person who made the oven. The company in China that invented this oven. The trucks that deliver it from China into the airport, and the boat, and the 1,000 employees who works on the boat, and all the people, and the police in the middle of the ocean that they check that nobody gets robbed, and their wives that let them work, and it's never going to end. You have to thank the whole world, basically, for one slice of bread, if you really think about it. If you want to be decent and honest, 100%, you have to thank the postman, you have to thank Obama, you have to thank the people in the port, you have to thank anyone. Why? Why? Because everyone has something to do with this. So Hashem say, relax, my friend. You just thank me, and I counted that you thanked everyone because they all have to thank me anyway. Right? So you thank me, it counts like you thank all of them. That's the concept of Birkat Hamazon. You understand what's going on here? So we had an open question. Who remember what question we didn't answer?
The watch or the money? With the value of the watch?
Very good. You gotta come to Monsi, my friend. Forget about hummus. So the answer is, he has to give me a watch. I gave you a watch. If you go to buy the watch, they have a sale. Let's say I bought the watch for full price. I bought it for the whole 20. And now he lost it. And he goes to buy, and Rolex has promotion, and they give it for 15 today. The same thing, I cannot say, oh, you have to give me extra 5. Because you only paid 15 and I paid 20. He got lucky, or I got lucky. Depend on the day. Same thing, if somebody a neighbor borrows something from you, a quart of oil. And then when the week, sometimes, in Costco, they have coupons. They have this book. Not every week. So when I bought it for full price. And the next week, they have to bring me the same oil, and they got lucky. There's $4 off. It's not my problem. They got lucky. Sometimes they will be the other way around. I bought it on sale, and they paid full price. It's not my problem. So the item is when you give an item to item, regardless of the price. When it comes to money, same currency, there is a problem. Why is the problem? Because if I give somebody in America $1,000, and 5 years later he comes to give me $1,000 back, I may say to him, hey, don't play fool. When I gave you the $1,000, for $1,000 you could buy this table. Now, what can I buy with this 5 years later? I can't even buy half of the table. Inflation, everything went up. So you have to give more. That's interest that the Torah say you're not allowed. That's what the Torah say, you're not allowed. If he's a goy, you're allowed. Same thing, you're allowed to pay interest to a goy. But if as a Jew even kept your money 20 years, basically all the money lost their value. After 20 years, it's worth 20% of what it was 20 years ago. You lost the money. Why Hashem made you lose? It's not fair. That's where Hashem come into the picture and he say, you trust me or no? Same thing, I fed you all these years. I see what you did for your Jewish brother. I'll make it up to you. That's the test of emunah. That's why interest is not allowed. You know, the goy is not your brother. You don't have an obligation to save his life or to lend him or anything. You're not allowed to steal from him. You're not allowed to deceive him. You're not allowed to hurt him in any way, yes. But to run and help him, it's not your brother. Same thing if you have your brother and a stranger, two Jews. Your brother and a stranger. And you have only to help one of them. You have to start with your brother. So there's a list of priorities. Or if you have a poor person in your neighborhood and a poor person in a 10 miles away neighborhood, both of them poor. So you have to help the one in your neighborhood, unless if the one over there is learning Torah and this one is standing in the street playing sheshbesh all day. That's a different story. Then you want to help the other guy, even if he's in China, learns Torah over there. Why? I want to get profit from my donation. Why should I give it to the garbage? So what do you think about the cell phone? That you forgot about the cell phone. You say, go to my Rabbi, ask for the cell phone. Say, I'm sorry, you have to buy me a cell phone. He has to give it to him? Or since it's by the hand of the Rabbi, he will have to wait a year until he gets it back.
The rules of the establishment, they do not allow cell phones, right? That's the rules of the
No,
establishment.
no.
That
You
means
have to buy him a new phone.
Like
He was not-
when he gave him the phone, the agreement was that he'll return it to him. So then he owes him a new phone.
Yeah, but the question is, well, first of all, we have to know if I ask to borrow the phone, that makes me shoel. You know what shoel means? A borrower. When you borrow, when somebody lends you something, this is the highest responsibility that you have. Which means even if somebody robbed it with a gun, you still have to give. Which means, כל האחריות שלו, the Gemara says. A tree fell on it and broke it, anything like that. You're responsible for it. You know, unless if it's meta michamat melacha. Unless if it's an engine that the manufacturer said that it can drive only 100,000 miles. And when you borrow it, it was 99,900 miles. And you told him, I'm driving to my grandmother and come back tomorrow, it will be about 100 miles, and it died in your middle of the ride because it has a battery for 100,000 miles, and it died. And in a case like this, you don't have to. Why? Because it's called blai. It had to happen with or without me. But anything else, it was under a tree, hurricane came. So what do you want from me? If I wouldn't borrow it, it wouldn't fall on your car? What do you want from me? You could also drive. Trees fell all over town. It will go on you. So let's just answer the last questions, and then we go into what I wanted to speak about. So the answer of this is like this. Since he borrowed the phone, if the other person told him, watch my phone for me, and I give you permission to use it. Watch it for me, I'm going away, I cannot use my phone. So when I come back, you give it to me. And then he got caught doing something not right with it, then it's a problem. He would have to wait until he gets back. But since he borrowed it, automatically he has to give it no matter what happened. Especially now when he violated the rules of the yeshiva, and the yeshiva does not allow it, that means it's neglecting, is watching the phone, is guarding the phone. So obviously it's 100% his fault. Today I want to speak about something that happens to us every day. We're not necessarily paying attention to it. But it's very important to start paying attention to all the small details in our life. And it's called The Rambam speaks about it. It all comes from the Rambam Maimonides, which was a very big doctor and a huge chacham and the biggest posek in the last 1,000 years. And 90% of the Shulchan Aruch is based on his psakim. So we are not talking just another rabbi. We are talking a top authority. And of course, the Rambam, everything he say comes from Chazal, from the Gemara. And of course, everything the Gemara say comes from the Torah. So basically, when the Rambam writes what he writes here, it all came from Har Sinai, from Mount Sinai. However, there's one common mistake that people have. Some of the things the Chachamim in the Gemara said is not from Hashem. Not everything they say is from Hashem. Current events, for instance, when they describe what happened in the land with the Romans, what the Romans are doing to us, all kinds of things, it's nothing to do with Hashem. It's reality. What history, what was happening in the land in those days. So they describe what happened. Even though some laws are coming from these current events of 2,000 years ago, such as Tisha B'Av, such as fasting, such as mourning, such as music, such as haircuts in the 3 weeks, all these things come basically from the events that took place in the time of the Romans, but it's all rabbinical laws. But rabbinical laws, there's two kinds of rabbinical laws. There's rabbinical laws that is based on the Torah, that has a root inside the Torah, and there's rabbinical laws which is regular decrees based on events that happen. For instance, Megillat Esther, story of the Megillah of Purim. Even though there's a secret inside that the Torah hinted about it. If you remember one of my lectures, I said that the Gemara asked, where do you find Esther in the Torah? Where do you find Mordechai in the Torah? And the Gemara says, Esther is here, Mordechai is here, and also it appears in a code, in an equal skip, of the number of the letters of the Megillah. 12,196 letters. Skip between Esther, Aleph, Samech, Taf, Resh, and Mordechai. Both of them appears in the Torah in the same equal skip of 12,196, which leaves no doubt whatsoever, in a billion years nobody can make a beep, that the Torah is the word of the creator of the world. If you don't see it, I don't know where your head is. If you have a head, I'm very sorry to say it. Person that doesn't see this and still have doubts if the Torah is divine or not, there's not that much we can do with him. So that's basically, so obviously the Torah speaks about Purim, but that's a secret that Hashem planted inside the text. But overall, when the Chachamim made the laws that we have Purim, Matanot le'Evyonim, all these tzedakah to the Evyonim, all these things that we do in Purim, Mishloach Manot, this is all decrees of the Chachamim based on an event that happened in history. We had a big miracle, so they decided to make a new holiday, a new law. But they didn't find it in the Torah. However, when they say that a man and a woman cannot be isolated in a place with locked rooms and blinds are down and everything like that, that's also a decree of the Chachamim. But this decree comes from the Torah. Why? Because the Torah says that a man could not touch a woman that is not his wife. And a man cannot make sin with a woman. And a woman cannot make a sin with a man. So therefore, since the root of the sin is in the Torah, the Chachamim wanted to go one step further and make a fence around that sin because people started to do it in their time. By the way, this Ichud starts in the time of David HaMelech. So it only took 300 years from the time we received the Torah until people started to make sins, men and women. 300 years, it wasn't common. Nobody dared to do it. But after that, in the time of David HaMelech, they already made this law. Why David HaMelech and his Beit Din decided to make this Ichud decree? Because they started to hear about few cases in the land. Oh, there's cases, let's make a meeting and decide how to prevent it. So what did they do? What makes people make sins? They smile to each other, they lock themselves in a car, they lock themselves in a place, the Yetzer Hara works, she likes him, he likes her. Next thing, there's an abortion. So this is what's happening today. Exactly. So what the Chachamim say, you want to be a tzaddik? Don't lock yourself in a place. Don't lock, make sure nobody can come in, not in the office, not with your secretary. Even when you give a woman a ride, make sure the lights is on, go in the main road. There's rules. All these rules are rabbinical laws. Without them, it would be probably double sins from the Torah, which some of them is karet punishment. So, some of the things the Chachamim say, they copy from the Greeks. The Greeks, they were good in math, geometry, some astronomy. All the Greeks, the Chachamim of Greek, the Greek people in those days were not stupid people like bums on the street. They were philosophers, they read books, you had Socrates, they had all kinds of people that were very deep into learning. But since they didn't have a Torah, everything they were learning is their own ideas. They said and invented all kinds of things. Some of the things they were right, some of the things they were wrong. So for instance, the Greek thought that the world is the center of the universe. And therefore, because it's logical that we should be the center of space. Why? We have people here and all the stars are made for us. We see sun, moon, everything. So they all were created by the Creator to serve us. So it just makes sense that we are in the center of the world and all the stars are serving us just like a waiter goes around the master that sits in a beautiful table. So the waiter is coming, he's serving, then he goes from the other side. So who's going around who? The master around the slave or the slave around the master? So the Greeks had a logical idea, and they thought that the earth is in the center and the sun goes around the earth. So when the Chachamim heard the Greeks saying it, they checked in the Torah if Hashem told us what goes around what. Certain things, it's in the Torah. The Torah told us the number of the stars. Nobody could have known the number of the stars, but the Torah told us. In Masechet Brachot, we have the whole calculation of the stars. The Torah told us the minimal cycle of the moon, it can never be less than that ever. That's divine information. The Torah told us that the sun has a shell that's keeping all the radiation inside from us to burn and the whole world to go in 1 second to the garbage. The Torah told us divine things that no person was able to know in those days, and today, with the help of NASA and some scientists and some technology that we have today, we're discovering what the Torah already told us, so we know that it's all divine information. But there are certain things the Torah did not discuss. Not everything in the history, in the universe, the Torah spoke about. The Torah only spoke about things that have nafkamina le'alacha, which means that they have a direct connection to the law. God wants you to do certain things. He wants you to celebrate the Jewish holidays. In order for you to be able to celebrate the holidays correctly, you have to do it in the right days. In order for you to know what the right days, you have to know the cycle of the moon. When people come and testify, they saw the renewal of the moon, the Jewish court has to announce Rosh Chodesh and to count the days until we get to Yom Kippur or to Pesach. That's why it relates to the Jewish holidays. That's when God was forced to tell us secrets about the renewal of the moon. And that it will never be less than 29.530590. It will never be less 29 and a half, which is 12 hours, and 2/3 of the hour, which is 40 minutes, and 73 parts of the minute. It comes to the calculation 29.530590. It will never be less than that. Why is it? Because if the witnesses will come to the Jewish Beit Din and they come after 29 days and a half, which is 12 hours, and instead of 43 minutes, that's what it is approximately, they come in 39 minutes. 29 days, 12 hours, and 39 minutes. They are short by 4 minutes. The rabbi should know that they're making a mistake. So what's the big deal? 4 minutes they made mistake. Half an hour they made mistake. What could be the end so bad? The answer is 3 minutes can be a matter of destruction or a matter of creation. Let me explain. If a baby is born in 3 minutes difference, 2 twins, one came out, let's say the sunset is 8:30 exactly. I think that's what it is today or yesterday. 8:30 exactly. So the first twin from the twin comes out 8:29. When did he come out? On Friday night, 1 minute before Shabbat officially started. His brother, came out 3 minutes later, 8:32, right? Already after, so then one will have his brit on Friday, one will have his brit on Saturday. Now if you made a mistake 3 minutes by the renewal of the moon, you basically you can mess up the date for eternity. People would eat on Yom Kippur, all the Jews, even though it's a matter of 3 minutes, it's already a new date. Because remember, by Judaism, it's go by the sunset. It doesn't go like the Goyim, midnight all the time. So that means every minute can change everything. It can change the date. If they announce 3 minutes earlier, Rosh Chodesh, that means Yom Kippur would fall on a weekday. But if they announce it 3 minutes later, it can fall on Shabbat. And it makes a lot of changes. So therefore, since it's related to the Jewish law, Hashem had to tell us the renewal of the moon even by 6 digits after the decimal point. Also, Hashem wanted us to know that the sun has a shell that holding all the gas and the heat inside the sun. The center of the sun has 15 million degrees Celsius. 15 million. So Hashem wanted us to know that the sun is in a shell. Why it was important? This is what David HaMelech wrote. Why it's important if we know if the sun has a shell or not? Because Hashem wanted us to know La'atid Lavo, when the end of the world would come, Hashem would make a hole in the shell, and this heat of the sun, remember it's 15 million degrees. Right now we are protected because of the shell. The shell reduced the 15 million degrees to 6,000 degrees Celsius. If you make a tiny hole in a shell of the sun, it's not even a second, it's a millionth of a second it will take probably for all of us to go on fire, all the oceans to dry, this entire world to be burned. Everything will be black, burn here, fire, not one object would stay, not trees, all the lakes will evaporate in less than a second with this kind of temperature. So obviously it will be the end of the world. But that's the news here, that Hashem say that it will be a miracle day, that only the wicked people will be burned out. The righteous people, these millions of degrees would come to them and won't touch them like this. The whole world, it will be the end. That's Midrash. La'atid lavo yotzi HaKadosh Baruch Hu chama min artika. Midrash Rabbah say it. Because Hashem wanted to tell us how the end of the wicked people would be, so he was forced to tell us that the sun has a shell. You understand? Everything that relates to our tradition and our law, Hashem went out of his way to teach us science, which, by the way, proves to us that our Torah is the only divine book in history. Nothing else, because in other religions there's nothing. They don't know anything about the creation, nothing whatsoever. However, if the earth goes around the sun, or if the sun goes around the earth, it doesn't change any of the Jewish laws. It doesn't change our minhagim, our tradition, our customs, nothing. So Hashem never spoke about it. But the Greeks, out of curiosity, they wanted to know what goes around what. Because they see the sun sometimes is here, and then it's there, and it's then. They say it looks like the sun is going around us. But in reality, it's the other way around. So they wrote that the sun goes around the earth. So the Chachamim say, makes sense. So the Chachamim also believed it. Just like the rabbi can go to a doctor today, and the doctor say the patient needs this medicine. What does the rabbi know about the medicine? He didn't go to medical school. So he tells his student, listen to your doctor. He's a reliable doctor, and he gave you this medicine. What happened in 10 years later, we found out that this medicine not only did not help, caused cancer. So these patients will come and say, see my rabbi? He has no idea what he's talking about. He told me to take this medicine. Because of him, I got cancer. Is that correct to say or no? At that time, the world knew that this medicine is the only medicine. Now the world found out it was a mistake. Why? Because nobody had a way to know. The same thing over there with the sun. So the Chachamim said, okay, if that's what they think, so the sun goes around the earth. But what happened in the end? When the satellites came out and they started to see, they come out of space, out of the earth, and they started to see this the other way around, that the earth goes around the sun. Even though it's not 100% proven, because all the stars are all moving and all the galaxies, so it's very hard to know what goes around what. But to the eye it looks that the earth goes around the sun. So 99% chance the Greeks were mistaken. Because of that, the Chachamim copied from them. So you have today people who are anti-Torah. They say, you say the Gemara have no mistake? You say the Gemara is divine? But the Gemara said that the sun goes around the earth. And even the Rambam said that. Because the Rambam copied from the Chachamim that copied from the Greeks. So where the mistake? In the Gemara or by the Greeks' discoveries? By the Greeks. That's not a Mishnah. If it was a Mishnah that came in Har Sinai and then you found it in a Mishnah mistake, that means Hashem, we claim that Hashem gave it to us. And now it turns to be a mistake. Now we have a serious problem. But if it's just current event, regular knowledge about nature, as people taught in those days, that has nothing to do with us. I give one last example and then I move on. I once told you that before. I don't know if it's here. The Chachamim, the Greeks and the rabbis were not sure what creates the chicken. You see an egg. They were not sure if the chick comes from the yellow or from the white. So some say, the Greeks say the white, the Chachamim say the yellow. They've been arguing. And in the end, who was right? Both of them were wrong. Not the yellow and not the white. So where the chicken comes from? There's a microscopic seed that is in the egg, like a sperm, but mamash microscopic. Without a microscope, there's no way to see it. It's very, very tiny. And that develops into a chicken and break the shell of the egg eventually. So what's the yellow and the white? The minerals that the bird needs in order for it to survive in a time that it's inside the egg and there's no source of food. So Hashem already prepared everything that the chicken needs to grow up until he comes out of the shell and becomes independent. Why? There's no breastfeeding, there's no nanny to feed him. So he has to have everything in advance. So nobody knew. So now, is it fair to come to blame the Greeks or the Chachamim that they didn't know what they're talking about? No. Why? There's no microscope. There's no way to see microscopic things like today. Therefore, you couldn't see. So it was logical assumption. Both of them have equally logical assumption. It could have been the yellow, it could have been the white. There's no way to know. One served the other. In the end, they're both wrong. No problem. That's not divine information. You can make plenty of mistakes in it. But if the Mishnah said that the chicken come from the yellow, for instance, and then they discover this microscopic seed over there, there will be a mistake in divine information, which makes us a serious problem. Why? Because our Torah is the only Torah who never had any error for 3,300 years. In everything we receive in Mount Sinai is 1,000,000,000% correct. Even though there was no tools to write it in the old days, we know that the creator of the world gave us this information. So now, in the book of Rambam, Chelek Aleph, Mishneh Torah, it starts with Hilchot Deot, which means opinions of people, nature of people. There are different categories of people. And this is what the Rambam says. Deot arbe yesh lekol echad ve'echad mibnei ha'adam. Many people have different opinions. The Gemara said the same way the faces of the people are never the same, never. Same way their opinions are never the same. You cannot find two people that the entire 70 years of life, every subject they have the same opinion. It's not possible. Same thing the rabbis. You ask questions, you're not always going to get the same answer because some of it open to interpretation, to opinion. No problem, it's perfectly normal. And he says, sometimes the opinions of people are far away and extreme, one all the way to the left, one all the way to the right. There is a person that is very angry, full of fire, always angry. And there is a person that is very calm, always thinking, never is not impulsive, never gets angry. And if he will ever get angry, it will be once in few years. And there's a person that is very, very proud and full of ego. And then there's a person that is very down to earth. There is a person that is full of desires. And there's a person that controls his desires pretty good. Almost never see him running after desires. There's a person that has a pure heart and only will take what the body really needs and not to drop more than that. And there's a person that no matter how much he eats, no matter how much clothes he has, no matter how many materialistic things he has, he will never be full of it. If you remember the lecture I gave about the body language, it's in the website. It was a very popular lecture. Many people watched it because it's things that applies to our days. So I said one of the things is that the lips of a person has a different kind of skin. All the skin is thick, right? If you take something a little bit warm, hot, let's say, not burning, hot, you put it on your skin, you feel heat, but it doesn't kill you. But if you take the same temperature and put it on your lips, wow, you scream. We're not talking real fire here, just talking something hot. You put it on the skin can tolerate it. You put it on the lip, you're very sensitive. Why Hashem made the lips of a person different skin than the rest? Why it couldn't be the same skin like the face and the rest? Just a little bit thicker? Why it had to be that it comes from the inside of the skin? If you open the mouth, you see inside the entire inside of the mouth and inside the skin and the body. If a person come and take a razor and cut his skin and split it open, the inside of the skin looks exactly like the inside of the mouth, like the lips. It's two sides to the skin. The way the lips are, it's the inside, and the way the skin is the outside. Why Hashem took the inside skin and make it come over the regular skin, that it comes outside? Why is it? Because it goes all the way from the stomach out. The lips of a person, I'll teach you a secret now, shows you how desirable this person is. If a person has thick lips, lots of big lips, thick lips, it shows that is a nature of a person that runs after physical pleasure a lot. Food, women, relation, all kinds of things like this. If the lips are smaller, it shows that the nature of this person is more absorbed, more conservative. It's not crazy after desire. Everyone has desire. Even if you have small lips, still have desires, but it's not crazy after it. You see, the people, the bigger their lips are, the more into physical, intimate relationship. The smaller they are, they're less. It's very interesting. Why? Because it indicates about the nature of a person. Also the shape of the feet, the shape of the hands, the shape of the face, the way we talk, the way we move, the way we sit. Everything shows about the character of a person. You should watch that lecture. I was giving a lot of sources. So over here, the Rambam writes, there are people they are very deeply into desire, and people that are not. There's a person that is basically torturing himself. Nothing. He doesn't care about anything. No clothes, no food, no nothing. There's a people that are very generous. Whatever money comes to their hand, they give out. To the wife, to the children, to people, to strangers. They never have savings. We're not talking about someone that is a great believer in Hashem. We're talking in nature of a person. Whatever he has, you take away. Somehow he lives like that. Never have enough money in his bank account. Makes a lot. Makes money. Lots of money go through his hand. Never has any money left by him. He made $1,000 this week. Before he arrived home, he already spent $1,100. Bought himself all kinds of things. Stand by the bar, had 10 beers, this, that. By the time he arrived home, all the money is gone. And there's a person, everything with a list. How much I spend, how much not, next week, what, he has plans, everything is organized. Then the Rambam say, what's the right way when it comes to every territory? Being generous or being stingy? Being proud or being wicked? Or being humbled? Being angry or calm? Being hardworking or sleep all day, do nothing? What's the right way in life? The answer is average way, in the middle. Middle, except two things. Two things, no permission to be in the middle. You have to go all the way to the extreme side. What are the two things? When it comes to generosity, Hashem wants you to be so generous that you give out everything you have, or He wants you to be so stingy that you give nothing, even on yourself you don't spend anything, or He wants you to be half enough. To give a lot, but at the same time to think about your future and to put some money and to spend on yourself and whatever. The answer is average. Average. Hard-working person. If you have a work, He wants you to kill yourself at work? No. But He also doesn't want you to sit and do nothing. Average. Do what you need to do and that's it. But when it comes to pride, no permission to be in the middle. Not even 1%. Pride, it's not permitted. So that means a person must eliminate completely his pride and ego, which is the source of all the problems of our life. These things, pride and ego, it's together, destroy our life. And what's the second thing? That you're not allowed to even be a little bit from it? Angry. No permission to be angry. So no matter what happened, a person should never lose his temper. Never. Those two things are very critical. Everything else, midah benonit. Midah benonit. So it says like this. The person should not be sad all the time. Upset, depressed, sad. Why are you upset, Moshe? My sins, so many sins. I hate myself. What kind of life I have? I just spoke Lashon Hara. I cannot sleep for a week already. I don't know what to do. It's very depressed. He doesn't want to get up in the morning. Why? You have a client. He's waiting for you. No, I wish I'll die. Please take me. I hear it all day. From people. They make one sin, and I have to pay the price. Okay, and I have to be a psychologist. Explain to him, you're wrong. That's what the Satan wants. The Satan wants you to make a small sin, and now bring it to your brain that it's the worst sin in history, and destroyed you from doing all the important mitzvot because you made a tiny sin. That's the trick of the Satan. So what's happened? You make a sin, you feel upset a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you begin to say, Hashem, forgive me, I'm sorry, and an hour later you move on with your life. What, are you going to sit all day on the floor and cry? It's not Tisha B'Av. Yom Kippur would come, you'll mention the sin again. Tonight before you sleep, you do vidui, so you think about it again. Eventually it will get erased. But to be happy all the time, like some fools are saying, besimche, besimche. You have to be besimche all the time. No, all the time. No, forget about it. That's also not what Hashem wants. Hashem wants a person to do cheshbon nefesh. There's time to be sad. Somebody died, you have to be sad. You found out someone just got cancer, you have to be sad. Not allowed to be sad. All the time, besimcha, be careful not to have this. That's not the right way. You have to be average, in the middle. You have to know when to be happy, when to be sad. There's no permission to be a fool, a clown, all day, laughing, like he took some drugs or something. I went to a place, I met a very, very wealthy guy, invited me to a Shabbaton, he owned the shul. So I said, after being with him, spending the weekend in their community and eating in his house, the Baal Teshuva, American Baal Teshuva. So I say to him, in the end, you're the first wealthy guy I met that is really happy. The smile does not come out of his face for 1 second. You should see how his face is shining, smiling, laughing, all the time, very happy, mamash happy. So I say to the rabbi over there, I said to him, usually everywhere I go, I see all these billionaires, they're always thinking, worry. You look at them, you see how much stress they have. So he said to me, don't give him too much credit. He's on heavy drugs all day. So I said to myself, now I understand. All day smiling. You should see his face, how it's getting wide like this. Right? The drugs do the job. I remember one time there's a girl in my school, in high school. They went on vacation to Tiberias on a Kinneret, and her father wanted to do ski. They had a speedboat, and he met 3 Israelis with another boat, and he asked them, do you know how to drive this boat? Very expensive. It was one of the richest families in Israel. So they say, yeah, sure. So he said, okay, I'm going to ski. So he jumped behind the boat. There's a big engine in the back, and by mistake they drove reverse, and the propeller of the engine killed him on the spot, in front of her eyes. She was 17. So when they said Shiva, all the school went to comfort them. So when I arrived to their mansion in Israel, we went in. I see her brother, laughing, drinking, eating with all the guys. I said, I feel more bad for her father than them. That's the first time I saw the power of drugs. The doctor of the family was giving him drugs. They're not even aware that they had such tragedy. They laugh. They sit on the bed. They're talking to people like it's a party. The drugs. That's not the way of the Torah. Okay, what's next? So it says like this. A person that said, well, since eating all day, delicious food, all kinds of flavors, that's not what Hashem wants, I'm going to start torturing myself. That's it. From now on, I eat stale bread, nothing, I don't eat. I don't put salt, I don't put pepper on my food, no spices, I don't eat meat, I don't touch delicious wines, nothing, no fruits, I can live without it. What do I eat? Mamash, very little, just to survive. Sin or mitzvah? What do you think? It's a sin. It's not a mitzvah. Why? Hashem didn't say to torture yourself. He didn't say to be a pig all day looking for something to grab and to snack. It's also not good. From time to time, you eat. They serve dessert, you eat a little dessert. You don't have to finish the cake. One tiny slice, it's okay. They bring a whole ice cream, 1 spoon, it's okay. They bring watermelon, 3-4 pieces, it's okay. No, I don't touch these things. It's all a show. And Hashem doesn't like shows. It's not Broadway here. You have to be who you are. I remember one time I brought a guy to the yeshiva. A week or 2 later I came to the kitchen. I see everyone is eating. They got dessert and this. So I said to him, eat a piece of cake. He said, no, I don't touch these things anymore. 1 or 2 weeks in yeshiva, he doesn't eat dessert already. Why? He read in a Ben Ish Chai, somebody brainwashed him about the Mekubalim, that they don't eat this, they don't want to enjoy too much from the world. Next thing, he became a Ben Ish Chai. Just a few days ago, a married couple came to me for the Shlom Bayit problems, and accidentally, the woman almost forgot to mention it. After 40 minutes of discussion with her and her husband about all the important problem, she just said, and he doesn't want to touch me. So I say to him, what happened? She said, no, he say, only on Shabbat. So right away I knew where it comes from. So I told him, you into the Ben Ish Chai, into the Mekubalim? He said, I said to him, you're making a big sin. You're violating your Ketubah. The Ketubah you sign that you'll be otherwise. This is for different level of people, not for ordinary person like you. So I say to him, a guy that wear a shirt like you cannot follow the Ben Ish Chai. Yeah, they're very modern, all kinds of things. Forget about it. You're not in this league. After you learn 20 years Torah, and you be 1% from the level of the Ben Ish Chai, after 20 years, then you follow what the Ben Ish Chai say. Ben Ish Chai lived in Baghdad. When he was 6 years old, he was in the attic. Since he's a kid, all his life he learned Torah, turban, he wore a big dress, like the Mekubalim. Over there is a different life, sitting with tefillin all day, mikveh every morning, learn with the biggest chachamim in the world. You're working in the street, Jews, goyim, all day. What is going on with you? Forget about these things. That's the damage. Or sometimes a person go to books from hundreds of years ago, and he'll begin to think, to hallucinate that it applies to him. He needs somebody normal to put him down from his hallucinations. I had one guy, he decided to be Nazir. Drove me crazy. Until I wrote to him clearly, you need mental help immediately. You need a psychiatrist. They still didn't leave me alone. Still send me a few more emails, until smoke came out of my ears. Tried to prove to me that Nazir applied to today. There's a new Baal Teshuva. He read the wrong books, sending me copy of Book of Mekubalim from a few hundred years ago. And I tried to get him off the tree, so in the end he wrote to me, if you don't know the translation of this book, just say that you don't understand it. He gives me shiur, this chatzuf. You understand? He thinks he's a big tzaddik, he's a total zero in the eyes of Hashem. Why? He's not normal. He doesn't have achvana, he doesn't have directions. The Baalei Teshuva, they can lose more than they gain if they don't have directions. Because they read books that are not to their level, and they try to imitate some of these advices that were written in a book, such as the Ari HaKadosh. The Ari HaKadosh lived 500 years ago. It was once in a million years you have a guy like this that comes to the world. And it was a legend. He had Ruach HaKodesh. He had prophecy. He was able to know people reincarnation. It was in levels. He see angel. He see souls. He see things that it's like a divine person, not an ordinary person. He lived only 38 years. When he was sleeping, he was talking Divrei Torah. Half of what Rabbi Chaim Vital wrote is when he was sleeping, he was talking to the angels in Aliyat Neshama. He was standing by him and writing what he said. How many people like this you had in the last 2,000 years? 1, 2, 5? So now, the Ari HaKadosh speaking about certain crimes that people did. If they want to make tshuva, they have to have 300 days of fasting, roll in the ice, all kinds of things that it's level that, mamash to the level of Rabbi Akiva and Moshe Rabbeinu. Here comes a Baal Teshuva from Manhattan, live in the biggest mud in a history, spiritual mud. His neshama is not in this level. He tried to climb to a level that is for completely not his league, and then the Satan is making a party. Look at this fool. And then he crashed after a while. He crashed and become the biggest rasha in the world. That's what happened to them. So everyone wants to be Baal Teshuva. Rule number 1, the word show off should not be in your vocabulary. Just think about it. Everything I'm about to do I do it because I want to be tzaddik and to do what Hashem wants, or I do it for the show off? Right away, 90% of what you want to do will go to the shemos, to the gniza. Why? Because you're not doing it for the sake of heaven. And then if you think you have the urge to do it, you have to go to a decent, normal rabbi. Not somebody who behave weird, not somebody who put mask, not someone that is peot all the way to the floor and making shows when he walk to places. Not this kind of people. Some of them need mental help also. You stay away from them. You have to go to a decent person, someone who knows Torah, doesn't make show, doesn't wear all kinds of things that doesn't apply to him. And he's Ben Torah, Talmid Chacham, and he knows, he check you out, he see your level, and he give you the right advice. Same thing a doctor. The doctor see the patients, he know his history, he know his physical strength. Based on knowing him, he knows what medicine to suggest. Will he survive the surgery? The surgery is necessary, but it may kill him. because he's not strong enough. Like I know a woman in Italy, she was in her 80s. She was so weak, they needed to do an emergency surgery on her. But the doctors say it's almost guaranteed she'll die after the surgery because she's so weak from her situation that it's better we leave her to live 6 months for sure that will do the surgery. But 99% of the other patients, right away they send them to the surgery. But the doctor who examined this woman knew the surgery will kill her right away. And they had to make a decision to leave her alive. And Baruch Hashem, it's already a year and a half, she's still alive. Bli ayin hara. Supposed to die in 6 months. So it was the right decision. They'll make the surgery, she'll be dead already 2 years ago. So what's the point? Same thing, Chacham. Same, sometimes a person come to me, I see his level. Some of them I say, you have to leave everything, you come to yeshiva, that's the right thing right now in your life. One person wanted to go to yeshiva, for months runs after us. Half of Queens calling me, help him, he wants to get to yeshiva. I know it's not for yeshiva. It's not capable of learning all day Gemara, it's not in the level. Yes, he has nice dreams, he's hallucinating, but it's not for him. So I said to him, you have to, in the end, after he doesn't understand hints, I said to him, you have to learn an hour or two maximum. If you come and learn all day, after a week you drop out and it will be totally depressed and it will be a lot worse. So that's what you have to do. So every person has to have someone who can read him and tell him what's good for him. Definitely no one should do things on his own. Nothing. You want to start praying nets? It's 5 o'clock in the morning now. You're not allowed to start on your own. You have to come to your rabbi and tell him. And the rabbi has to ask you, what's your job? What time you start? Where do you live? You have a car? You don't? There's hundreds of questions you need to know before you tell the person, yeah, start praying nets. You have to know if he's independent or he works for someone. If he has his own business, okay, at least he doesn't steal from anyone. But if he's a teacher, and he wants to get up at 4:30 in the morning and to pray, and then to do whatever, and then he comes to class at 9 o'clock, he's already, half of his brain is numb, and the kids are suffering, and he gets full salary. In order for him to do hidur, which is not required, he's stealing from hundreds of people, all year around. So what good is that? You want to do something extra, and then you violate hundreds of solid divine rules? What's the point? No. If it's a person who's right now unemployed, he has 2 months off from school, summer vacation, a youth, there's really no rush anywhere, so he wants to try to do it for a while. No, that's no problem. What's the problem? He can go in the afternoon and sleep. Or he can go to sleep early in the night. He has no obligation. He's not working for anyone. Why not? Let him start the day 4:35 in the morning. But someone who has to work, someone who gets a salary from someone, is not allowed to do it. He comes to do hidur and he violates for sure isurim deoraita. Especially if he learns Torah. If he has to be in yeshiva 9 o'clock and people donate money to this yeshiva, and the people think, I'm sponsoring Torah in the highest level. In reality, since they get up at 4:30 in the morning, it's not such a high level because they're tired all day. Because a person is a person. Not everyone is the Ari HaKadosh or the Ramchal that sleep, or the Gaon Mivilna that sleep an hour and a half a day. This is special souls. Ordinary person doesn't sleep minimum 6 hours a night, he can't function. The Rambam say, weak people, old people, and weak physically have to sleep 8 hours a night. Mediocre, average, 7 hours a night. And strong people, 6 hours a night. And unique, 1 to 1,000. Unique, special, to stay up all night and learn Torah. Who is the Rav Ben Zion Abba Shaul? Rav Steinman, Rav Ovadia, the Stipler, Rav Chaim Kanievsky. They can do it. Special people, not an average person, stay up all night, never sleep. No, it doesn't work this way. So, the way to become a Baal Teshuva is to do it with advice from a rabbi, from a Talmid Chacham. But again, not kitzoni, not strange person. Someone who stands with his both feet on the ground and his brain, and he knows, he connected to the world, and he's able to read who you are. Many times people ask me personal questions over the email or over the phone, and I said to them, it's not responsible for me to give you an answer on this question before I know who you are. It's not going to be. There's no black and white answer. You have to evaluate the person. Remember, being a rabbi is exactly like being a doctor, but million times more responsible. Million times more dangerous and more critical. Why? The worst the doctor can do is to kill a person. He goes to heaven. One way or the other he'll die, not now, in 20 years from now. But to be a not responsible rabbi, you can kill his eternity. It's much bigger, much bigger responsibility. Can destroy his religion, can make him a goy, can go back to be the way he was and worse, on one bad advice. So you got to be very careful. So you cannot just pull out answers out of nowhere for someone you never saw in your life. You have to check. Also, one more thing. Anyone who deal with husbands and wife, and one side call and complain about the other on the phone, almost always it's a lie, or partially a lie. You cannot not allowed to answer answers before you see both of them in front of you. I learn it. I get experience every day more and more. The wife calls and she describes him as Eichmann. When he comes back, we found out she's Izevel and he's a tzaddik. Why? What's going on? All of a sudden, she has not one bad thing to say in front of him. Only behind his back. And I said, okay, we've been sitting an hour. Say, what's the problem? An hour is all of a sudden he's an angel? He was all alone an angel. Turns out she was the problem. Or the other way around. Could be a man complain about his wife. And when the wife comes, we find out a real angel. Sweet angel that gives her life for him. And something is wrong with his head. One way or the other, even if they're right, you're not allowed to give answers before you see both of them and you let the other side retaliate. Because it's just like in a bed din. You cannot answer to one side before the other side is there. So now the Rambam says like this. A person shouldn't dress the most expensive clothes, even if he's a billionaire. He doesn't need a $10,000 suit. He doesn't need the most expensive jewelry in the world. He doesn't need the most expensive car, and he doesn't need the most expensive house. You're not in a competition with anyone. However, he doesn't need to live in a shed also, because he wants to be tzaddik. No. Whatever Hashem gave you, be average. People, goyim, in your status, they buy a $20 million house, you buy a $2-3 million house. It's good enough. You don't need to live in a shed. You're a millionaire, you're a billionaire, whatever. You can live in a comfortable house, rooms, can bring guests, no problem. They have 10 maids, you can have 1 or 2. You don't need. The idea is Hashem doesn't tell you be a poor beggar and put $200 million in a safe and live like a miserable thing all your life. No. I gave you, eat well, eat healthy. You need to go to places, fly, no problem. Enjoy the money. Most important thing, invested in a spiritual thing. But to have tons of wealth and to pretend that you are homeless, walking like this, and you wear things like, from the days of Antiochus, it's not what Hashem wants. Also, to go and wear, go barefoot, not to take a shower, to be like to make yourself like a suffering person because you want to repent for your sin. It's not the way of Judaism. You understand? There's no way. If a person knows that he wants to do tshuva, so he says, okay, I don't want a wife. I don't want a wife. Why? Like the priest, like the Christians want. That's against the Torah. No, the Torah says you need a wife. No, but the wife doesn't let me learn. I had one wife before already. She never let me learn. I don't want to repeat the same mistake. No, you're not allowed. You need a wife. And you deal with her problems. Why? That's the way Hashem made the world. One person was dismissed from a wife. Who? Ben Azai. And the Gemara say, but there's no more Ben Azai. 2,000 years ago. So anyone here can say he's Ben Azai. I give him one smack that he will never, ever come back here. Who can think he's Ben Azai here? Raise his hand. I can't have a wife. Why? She won't let me learn Torah.
It's the other way around.
The other way around, you're right. Okay, now let's move on. One time I went 16 years ago to give a lecture in Netanya, in Israel, Netanya. And they told me, we want to bring you to the tzaddik of the place. So I said, okay, let's go. I went to the place. They had Sheva brachot. There was some kind of a party. I don't remember what was the occasion. There was lots of food, lots of people, all of them Baal Teshuva. And then I said to the guy, where is the tzaddik? So he showed me a person. His shirt was supposed to be white, but it was already brown and black from the dirt. His hair was not cut, so greasy. I almost vomit when I looked at him. I looked down to his pants, all ripped, shredded, no socks. His legs, his feet were so swollen, his ankles, and dry from walking without shoes. Just like the worst homeless on the street. Horrible. So I said to the guy, I didn't have 5% of what I know today and the experience that I have today. Right away I saw something is not right here. So I said to the guy, who told you that he's the biggest tzaddik? He said, yeah, he's this, he's that, he's that. I told him he's a total rasha. It's not a tzaddik. Every step of his life is chilul Hashem. How can he be tzaddik? Every person who sees him, a Jew and a goy, whether he's religious, not religious, he wants to spit on the floor from this dirty person. So he knows Torah. What does it help the world? That everyone see him, look at these Jews, they're not normal. One person can ruin the reputation of 10, 20 million people. It's not a joke. If he was just a nobody, some people say miserable guy is not normal. Nobody looks at him as an example. But if you highlight him, this is our face, this is our tzaddikim, it's the biggest chilul Hashem. Hashem is crying for this. So what is it? It's all a show-off. He knew that these Baal Teshuva are ignorant, they don't know anything from their life. And he was showing them, like, I want to suffer. Look, I don't want to enjoy this world. I don't want to enjoy anything from this world. And that's why they admired him. How we make them admire him? He comes with a $10,000 suit. He comes with a fancy car. They won't admire him. They only admire him if he pretends that he's some kind of a suffering creature. But he never read the Rambam, I guess, or ignored the Rambam, I don't know. The Rambam say clearly not to do these things. Not only that, Rabbeinu Yonah writes, is also one of the biggest Rishonim, if a Talmid Chacham goes out of his house to the street with a stain on his shirt, a little bit oil from the last meal on his shirt, and I'm talking that he's poor, he doesn't have what to wear. It's a different story. He has what to wear. He has a stain, he doesn't care. He walk like this to the street, chayav mita. Such a sin, he doesn't deserve to live, this guy. Why? He make the reputation of the religion sour in the eyes of the people. And there's something that Hashem cannot forgive about. So what do you see? That all this extreme behaving are not welcomed. And it's not only this. All the Baal Teshuva who grow beards and wear sombreros after 1 or 2 weeks that they became Shomer Shabbat, and start making long peot, then they go making faces and wearing long coats and pretend they're big Hasidim, it's all Chilul Hashem. None of them is mitzvah, nothing. It's all a show-off and Hashem doesn't like it. You don't need this to be tzaddik. You don't need this long beard, you don't need this peot, you come in the airport, everyone look at you like zombie, like crazy, make bad reputation for everyone. The only permission that a person has to grow long beard when he's a beginner is only when he's so into women and he cannot control his desire. So that's the only thing that can stop him from making isurei karet. Then that's permitted. But Hashem knows if he did it for that or he does it for the show. He wants to pretend that he's a tzaddik. He doesn't know 2 halachot, already grow beard like he's a big mekubal. Well, the 2 halachot he doesn't know. Everyone looks at him, Rabbi, Rabbi, Rabbi. He cannot read 1 line in a Gemara Rashi. He doesn't know how to read. And already pretend that he's somebody important. That's not the right way. If a person, the only way stop him from making sin is this big beard, then of course, well, what's the odds? What's the options? Not to do it, he's going to make much bigger sins. He better have this beard that will protect him. But if he can control his desire without it, better he won't have it. Because when he makes sins with his beard, it's a much bigger Chilul Hashem. Plus, most of the time his wife doesn't like it. He's only 1 month religious, but she's also 1 month religious. And even if she's on a higher level than him, most women in our generation cannot stand all these weird long beards. They don't like it. And it hurts the Shlom Bayit. It hurts the intimate relationship between them. And that's not what Hashem wants. The most important thing in Shlom Bayit, that Hashem wants them to be in love each other, and that there's no resentment. But he doesn't ask. He doesn't ask. He does whatever he feels that it's right. Like the guy I told you that wants to be with his wife once in a while because he thinks he's the Ben Ish Chai. You understand? So that's not the right way. It's not the right way. You want to grow a beard, you have to come to your rabbi to ask permission. If you're 10 years learning from morning to night and you feel you're ready, he'll tell you do it. If he knows you 3-4 weeks, tomorrow you can be Chiloni with the earring. I know a lot of these guys that had long beards, and today they're on the beach in Tel Aviv playing on Shabbat with earring and tattoos and ponytails. Why? Because they didn't listen. If they listen, it wouldn't happen to them. You don't jump from 0 to 100 in a year. It doesn't work that way. Lo alecha amlacha ligmor. Nowhere in the Torah Hashem said that you have to be Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. No. You have to do the things in a right way. You don't know how long you're going to live. Maybe you live another 50 years, maybe another 10 years. You don't know. Maybe you won't finish. You begin to learn. You learn every day. You improve your midot. You work on your character. You become a better human being. You do more chesed. You become more honest. You watch your eyes more. You become more tzanua. No one is perfect. You make sins and you do tshuva. You correct it. Then comes Yom Kippur. You don't go crazy. You dress average. In America, it's respectable to walk with jackets and elegant pants. Some country may be different. Maybe they wear like the Arab sheikhs. Depend on where you live. Here in Israel, it's not so popular to dress like some of the people here. Over here, even the postman has a suit. In Israel, they go to the wedding with jeans and sandals. Some Israelis, in the time of their wedding. Over here, the postman has a suit. So it depends on the culture of the place. One thing we have to know, you have to dress respectable, not what you like. Big mistake. I don't like it. And it's not my style. Forget about your style. We care what the people think. What's the people over thinks it's respectful? You come to a job interview. You come with jeans or with holes and sandals and 5 earrings in your ear, and you want to get the job being a salesman for Microsoft? They'll kick you out of the window. Don't show your face ever here. You come with a jacket and a tie, they give you the job. Why? Maybe the guy with the ponytail and the earrings is much more qualified. Nobody wants to hear about him. You want to dress like this? Go to the park. Not in my company. So what do you see? You see that even the goyim that dress like this themselves on Sunday when they go to the park, but when you come to them, they respect you only in one way: when you dress normal with a jacket and this. That's how you have to dress all the time as a Jew. You're the son of God or you're the daughter of God. You can't dress what the goyot wear when they go to the bar. Doesn't work that way. Queen Elizabeth, she's not Jewish. She always wear modest like a rebbitzen. Why? Because she's the queen and she understands it. I promise you, when she was young, she had lots of desire to wear short mini skirts and high heels. But she didn't do it. Because she knew when she was 40-something, she was already a queen, whatever. I don't know her history, I assume. So she knew, I'm a queen, I cannot dress like this. And now I'm not a waitress in the bar that wants to double my tips. I'm a queen of England. Any Jewish woman is 1 billion times higher than her. Why? She's the queen of England, you're the queen of the world, you're the daughter of Hashem. You represent Hashem. You cannot dress like an average person in the world that has no meaning in his life. You have responsibility. That's why I say to people, what is all these jeans, all these shorts, the way the people dress? You want to be Baal Teshuva, one of the things you have to do is to improve the way you dress. Shabbat, wear white shirts. It's not an obligation. No, it doesn't say in the Torah you have to wear a white shirt. No. But that's what's acceptable. It's acceptable. It's more respectful. Do what's respectful in the eyes of the public. That's really the outside improving the inside. You should know it. Take the biggest ars in Israel. You know what ars? Criminal, low life, dirty language. You don't want to be around this guy. Take away his jeans and t-shirts and the things that he likes to wear with all this jewelry that he has, bracelets and all this, and you put him with a nice suit, fix him, give him a haircut, see how in 1 week he behaves completely different. Before he learned 1 hour Torah or Musar. Already, half of the bad things he used to do, he doesn't do. He used to curse on the street. Now he's thinking, why? The tie already made him a different person. It's changing the person. Right away. I'll give you a proof. Person likes to go and talk to every woman he sees. One day he decided to become dati. As long as he doesn't put yarmulke on, nobody knows he's religious. Still dress jeans, everything, t-shirts, he does whatever he wants. He keeps Shabbat, he puts tefillin, he goes to the shul. When he goes to the shul, he takes the yarmulke from his pocket. But there's no really changes in his behaving. When is he going to stop talking to every girl he sees and flirt with her? When he's going to put these $2 on his head. Now he can't. He's embarrassed. I'm religious, I'm going to do this. What you want to do and what you can do, it's two different things. You give up your desires. So this one little $5 kippah can save him every week from Isurei Karet. Same thing a girl. The way she dressed before, she's a Shomeret Shabbat. She still wears tight jeans, all these things. She makes sins. When she starts wearing like Bet Yaakov, she's, I'm going to go like this to the bar. They're all going to look at me like I'm crazy. So the clothes already making the person much more religious. In case you're not convinced, the autistic kid told my friend when I brought him to him 15 years ago. First thing when he walked into the room, he was dressed like a rabbi. Black jacket, black pants, white shirt, big black yarmulke. But the autistic kid, it's a soul. It's not a regular person. He knew that when he works here in Jamaica in a real estate, all day wear jeans and a baseball hat. And he knew that there is the religious guy on Shabbat and there is the half goy on a weekday. So right away he started to attack him. Why are you dressed like a goy? Why are you ashamed to be a Jew? Shame on you. Now you think this guy was embarrassed? Not only he wasn't embarrassed, he started to argue with him. He said to him, what do you care about the outside? Care about the inside. So the autistic kid answered him, the outside improves the inside. The change starts from the outside, always. There's no change in the personality of the person that starts from inside and then come outside. First, it's the outside. That's why in every army there are uniforms. Why? Once you put the uniform, you're becoming already a different person. Once everyone has a short haircut, right away it's binding you to the law of the place you came. If a company gives you uniform when you work for them, right away it changes you. It makes responsibility. You're obligated to the place. You dress the way you want. Same thing schools. When I was a kid, everyone wore light blue shirt. Everyone. Rich, poor, everyone. Guys, girls, everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. You come here with uniform. Why? It's making an atmosphere of a school, not of a club. Everyone comes, $2,000 dress, $2,000 shirts, it's not a club here. Over here it's like an army. Just before we finish, we have a few more minutes, it says like this. The health of the body. Let's say a few words about this. Health of the body. Today, people like to be extreme in certain things that they do. If people are environment activists, they demonstrate, they fight, they go, they kill themselves. What? To protect the environment. In the 80s, activists in the United States, green, they want everything to be green, natural, not to destroy the ozone, all these kinds of things. So they had a propaganda for their plan to clean one of the rivers here in New York. That they saw that many of the fish die because some companies throw waste into the water and it kills all the fish. So after they got tens of millions of dollars for the project, they cleaned that little lake. When they finished the job, they found out that every fish they saved cost the taxpayers of America $60,000 per fish. That was the cost of purifying the lake. So that shows us not everything is logical. Overall, the idea is good. You want the world to be a cleaner place, you want more trees, you want water that are clean, of course. But you have to always consider what's the price. What's the price? Just like in religion. I want to do this and this and that. What's the price I'm going to have to pay to Hashem when I see Him? What's going to be the price? Oh, very heavy price. I don't want to do it. There is non-kosher food that is very healthy. Many times the doctors say eat this, eat that. All kinds of things. What is the gain? I'll feel a little bit better every day. What's the price? I lose my share to the world to come. So what's to feel a little bit lighter and heavier or maybe more energetic? It's worth it for me to lose my eternity? Of course not. If I can find a kosher way to do it, fine. If not, better to leave it the way it is. Same thing with this lake. The lake is destroyed already. What's the only way to make it good? To spend tens of millions of dollars? Better to give it to the poor and the orphans and the homeless that make our world much worse than what it is. Better to take it to education to teach kids not to go into drugs. Better to do what society needs. It's much more critical. Same thing, the human body. Everyone is into health, vitamins, billions of dollars, vitamin. I have news for you. It's all a total waste of money. Every pill, vitamin that you take, it's like burning your money. Anything, vitamin C, vitamin D, whatever you take. One specialist told me that if it's not natural, if it's artificial vitamin, even if they write it's all from natural ingredients, only 2% of it absorb inside the system, the body. It's not like when you eat a fruit. You eat a pineapple, it has a lot of vitamin. You eat an orange, it has a lot of vitamin C. You eat fish, it has omega-3. But supplements from these pharmaceutical companies, only 2% of it goes into the body. That's one problem. Second problem is, the person does not know how much to take. Some people become addicted to it. They take. It can cause more damage than help. If it helps, if they took too much, it can cause them more damage. Like fish oil. They eat fish oil. If you have too much omega-3, it's also not good for the brain. A person doesn't know what. He's going to go to the doctor every week to check his blood. So there's problems with this. But when you eat, the body already make you crave what you need. Hashem directs the body, because He knows you don't know what to eat, what not to eat, that you feel, I'm in a mood to eat, to drink carrot juice. Why? Your eyes need some help. So He makes you like it. You need orange juice, so you drink orange juice. You want avocado, eat tomatoes, all these things. So you get natural help for your health, and it's basically a lot cheaper, a lot healthier, and it is done based on your emunah in Hashem. You pray to Hashem, I want to be healthy, Hashem. Help me to be healthy. I don't know what to eat. Should I eat too much meat? Some people eat a lot of meat, it's good for them. Some, it's not good for them. One time there was a doctor, Italian doctor, I even bought his book. That's probably the only secular book I ever bought in the last 20 years. Why I got interested in his book? Because he discovered that the type of blood that the people have has different requirements what kind of food to eat. So for instance, one type of blood, if you eat lots of wheat, barley, grains, the 5 kinds of grains is very productive for this type of blood. For another type of blood is not good, just very little to eat from it. That's why some people eat bread and they're very good with that. Some people, it makes them very tired. Or milk. Some people, milk is a great thing for them. They must have it. You know, the nails, it affects the entire body, the skin. Some people drink from it, it's horrible for them. Meat, same thing. Now, this Italian doctor had a rabbi dying in a hospital. So he came to the Rebbitzen. He said, I checked your husband's blood type. Make sure he eat this kind of cornflakes every day. In 1 month, he'll be good. No, that's like that he was dying. They didn't know what to do with him. He started to change what he ate, and he ate what he said, and he wrote in his book his name, everything. He became completely healthy. So we see that what food to eat, how much from each, it's something that we need emunah in Hashem. We don't know. We don't know all the body, all the secrets of our body. Hashem knows. That's why we have lots of problems, stomach problems, heart problems, all kinds of things. Some people eat tons of meat, no cholesterol problem. Some people eat only on Shabbat, high cholesterol. How can it be? If it's bad, it should be bad for everyone. No. For some people, they need to eat meat a lot, etc. There's many other examples. This is what the Rambam writes. Choli aguf, the sickness of the body. There are people who desired food that is poison for the body. There are people who desire things that they do in their life that is bad for their soul. There are people who call the light darkness and people who call the darkness light. What's the remedy for a person that is into anger? It's like a fire all the time, hot, boiling. Every little thing bothers him. The food that we eat also affects what we do. If a person is hot-tempered, if he eats lots of spicy and hot food, it only creates more anger inside of him. If he eats more cold and sweet, it takes away his anger, or the other way around. How does a person get cured from a bad trait? It's like going to the gym. You have weak muscle, you begin a process of healing the muscles. How? You lift 5 pounds in the first week. Next week 8. Next week 15. Next week 20. Until a year or two later, you lift 200 in each hand. If the first week you lift 200, it would kill your muscles. You won't be able to do anything for the rest of your life. You have to cure yourself slowly, slowly. So an angry person, what's an angry person? He has to start. Every time I get angry, penalty. $10 in a box. $10 in a box. It doesn't help, $20 in a box. Doesn't help, $50 in a box. It begins to hurt. I'm broke. Every time he's about to scream, oh, it's going to cost me $50, this scream. Slowly, slowly, he begins to learn to control himself and see that it's possible. Also, a stingy person. That's my subject. Wednesday I'm going to speak right here in Sha'arei Tova in Kew Gardens. The subject is stinginess. Anyone can raise his hand here and say that he's not stingy? Okay, write me $1 million check, please. That's why I gave an amount that I know you don't have. How do you know a person is stingy? Who knows? How do you know if he's stingy or not? What's the right way to know?
How he shops on Shabbat.
That's one way. Good. You've been listening.
Ask the wife.
Oh, he shops
How do you know if a person is stingy or not? Very good. You ask his wife. Sarah, how's your husband? Between you and me, Rabbi, he's afraid to go to the bathroom that he doesn't have to eat again. Right? But some people are stingy for the world, but not for themselves. On themselves, they spend good money. They buy suit, the best. Car, the best. House, the best. Vacation, the best. They have to give to somebody else. Give him $50 for Shabbat, for the whole family. His wife said, no, Moshe, why? What can they do with $50? The gefilte fish costs them more. It's my problem. I have to feed them gefilte fish. Let them eat bread and cheese. Maybe he's right. My job as a Jew to make sure he won't starve to death, the poor person, with his family. It doesn't have to feed him sushi and caviar. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Wrong. 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 That's not what the Torah say. The Torah say give him machsoro, what he's missing, what he used to have. He had a horse, help him to get a horse. He was eating steak, help him to get steak. He was eating ducks, help him to get ducks. However, let me tell you, this is the lecture of Wednesday. I don't want to go into it too much. But I'll give you an example. If a person said, I'm going to give the poor only $100. If he was willing himself to make Shabbat with $100, then he's right. Doesn't have to give him more. Why should I give him more than I spend on myself? But if he would never agree to do such a Shabbat, he has to give him more. Love him like you love yourself, not like you love somebody. You have to give him what you want for yourself. So the Rambam says like this. When it comes to pride, also stinginess, you have to educate yourself to give a lot of donations. But the way you do it, in the beginning you never gave anything. So you begin to give $1 a day. Every time you give $1, you're missing few heartbeats. And wow, another $1, Rabbi, wow, what did you get me into? I'll never forget that one moment for a very fancy neighborhood. One of the fanciest neighborhoods in America. That every house there is $2 million and up. Just the lot alone is almost $2 million in this area over there. So she's wealthy. She has money. So she say, I need to talk to you about my problem. Can we meet before the lecture? I say, we can meet in a lecture. No, I don't want anyone to see me talking to you. Okay, where do you want to talk to me? In a parking lot of the bank. It's a few blocks away from the shul. Okay. I go to so she begins to tell me her son, her daughter, the whole story of her life. And then she said, I want to give donation for the CD. Can I give you $52 for the CD? I said, very much, thank you very much. Good, I see it. 50 CDs before we even start the lecture, not bad. As we talk, and I'm answering all her questions, she said, do you mind if I give you only 36 this time? I said, no problem. By the end of the conversation, it was 18 with tears. Just like that. Just like that. So why? It's a mental disease. How do you overcome this mental disease? You begin to force yourself to do something that is against your nature. So you give $1 every day. Then after a while, you're already in a level that $1 doesn't hurt you anymore. You got used to the pain. The pain is not so bad. You increase it to $2 a day. Then the pain begin again. Once you get used to $2, now you go to 5. Then you get used to the 5, you go to 10. Until you're giving 20% of your net income. You're in a high bracket. Not maaser, 20%. But the only way to get there is to start from one step around the other. Then you get used to it. It doesn't bother you anymore. That's the way to cure stinginess. Now, pride. The Rambam say, there's one thing that a person should not go average. only extreme, to the extremist way. What is it? To be humbled the most possible way. Never to be proud, ever. Never to be gvalev, that he thinks I'm better than people. Always his spirit will be very low, as the Torah says, Vaish Moshe anav meod, in the last parasha. That's why the Chachamim order us to always be the lowest that we can be. And never to feel that I'm better than anybody else, not in words and in action, even in the heart. It's a sin to feel better. Think about it. It's a very hard thing, very hard. You stand with a fool. You're a genius and he's a fool. And you have to treat him like he's just as good as you and more. It's not so simple. We're not talking about someone who actually make him understand that he's a fool and you are the genius. No, that's already obvious that he's a proud person. The opposite, he's holding his mouth not to hurt the person. But in his mind he's thinking, thank God I'm not like this fool. That's already a sin from the Torah. Sin, just like eating chazir. Tell him to eat chazir, he'll kill you. But when he thinks about it 500 times a day in his work with the employees there, every one of them, it's mamash gvalev. Gvalev, the Torah says, not gva mouth. Gva means above. Feel is above, in his heart. It's a very hard thing. So how does a person get cured from pride? How? He should always remember that Hashem cannot stand proud people. Cannot stand them. Not even 1%. Who wants Hashem to hate him? Raise his hand, please. Huh? If somebody comes and say, if Hashem comes to you and say, hey Moshe, I'm willing to give you $1 million cash, but I want you to know that after you take the money from me, I will hate you forever. I will hate. Until now I like you, I'm giving you this $1 million, but I will hate you from now on. How many people will take the million? Only that woman that I told you about. That's nobody else. Right? Gabi, would you take 10 million? You take? How can we live knowing Hashem hates us? What normal person wants such thing? So why to be proud it's permitted? Also Hashem hates us if we're proud. What did we gain? At least over here we get $1 million. Over here, what did I get by saying to someone, I'm much better than you? What did I gain by that? People don't like you anymore. They feel you arrogant. You feel your nose is all the way up in heaven. You get nothing. People cannot stand you. And on top of everything, you lose your relationship with Hashem. That He cannot stand you. So that's rule number one. You want to be humble? Always remind yourself. Every time I'm going to feel better, Hashem will hate me more. It doesn't pay. That's one thing. What's the second thing? What's the second thing? You like to buy the best clothes, you force yourself to start buying average clothes. You have a very fancy car, you force yourself to get rid of it and buy an average car. You have a fancy Mercedes, sell it. Buy a little Camry or a small Nissan. Slowly, slowly will educate you to be down to earth, not to show off. You have a $50,000 watch, you can buy another 10 like this. No, sell it, buy a normal $200, $300, $500 watch. Don't attract attention. Your house is $20 million house, get rid of it. Buy a simple house, comfortable, nice, no problem. Don't be the highlight of the neighborhood. Get rid of this kind of lifestyle. Everything like this. If you be like this, guarantee that the day you die, you will be an ordinary, humbled person. Whenever you feel better than other people in your wisdom, always remind yourself that you're not the dirt of the nails of Rabbi Ovadia Yosef. No matter how smart you are, I will bring you back to your right perspective. And in case you became Rabbi Ovadia Yosef in your life, if it's possible, bichlal, then remind yourself that you're not the dirt of the nail of the Rambam. And if you became the Rambam, of course it's not possible, hypothetically speaking, then you remind yourself that you're nothing compared to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And if you became Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, you say, who am I? Moshe Rabbeinu took the entire nation of Egypt. Who am I? And if you're Moshe Rabbeinu, you're already automatically humble. There's no problem. You see? I found you the cue. שומעים חרפתם ואינם משיבים. ממש 3 more minutes and we're done. And if you have questions, you can ask. What does it mean, שומעים חרפתם ואינם משיבים? Don't argue with people. Don't fight. Don't complain. Don't make comments. You have a cleaning lady, let her breathe. Let her leave. Not every little thing make a comment. It's not Germany, Nazi Germany, Gestapo. Something is not in the right place, somebody will pay with his life. It doesn't work this way. Don't be pushy. Don't be obsessive. Don't call 50 times to the person for the check. Give some time to breathe. Not every little thing complain. Someone hit you on the highway, little scratch. You see you with the yarmulke, the goy. No problem, amigo. Sir, no problem. I'm calling. Hey, police, don't move. Every little thing. שומעים חרפתם ואינם משיבים. Someone did something to you. Don't make a beep. Not when you don't have what to answer. If you don't have what to answer, why are you answering? You only make things worse. You have a great answer, but you're silent. This is the highest level of a believer in Hashem. Because it's the hardest thing. Some kind of a low life. Insulting you in public. You have an answer that will bury him for the next 50 years. He will hide in a box. What a great, sweet revenge. And you say in your heart, Hashem, you saw it. I'm not answering. I won't go to this level. Don't worry, Hashem will take care of everything. But that's a high level. שומעים חרפתם, the world is standing on מי שתולה את פיו, בולם את פיו, תולה ארץ על בלימה, it says. Hashem hanging the earth on the mouth of people who in the middle of an argument don't answer back. Thanks to them, the world is existing in where it's supposed to be in space. If not, it would collapse, it would go far from the sun, we'll all die. The world is getting saved, the Gemara say, for people who block their mouth when they have what to answer in the times of a fight. Especially with your wife. Especially with relatives. Family. Not like today, almost everyone is arguing with everyone. Brother, sister, they don't talk to them. This, the in-law. What's going on out here today? Hard to believe what's happening. Holidays getting ruined. They don't want to be together, politics, problems. The rabbi wants to come speak in another community. There's always one jealous guy that would ruin it. It's like this, we don't want. Tell him you can't. Everyone is jealous with everyone. Why is it? Because not one person is almost a real believer. Still okay. But it's good. The red light showing that I promise that I'm going to finish in 3 minutes. And one more thing, a person should make sure to talk as less as possible. Don't talk unless if it's really urgent to talk. It's really necessary. If we really evaluate the amount of talking that we have, right away I promise you 80% of the talking, it's not necessary. What for? Talking, asking, this, news, weather, sport. What does it give to our life? Nothing. The less you talk, the better it is. And even when you are around people, it's not good always to be the talker. To sit quiet, it's good. And even if somebody asks a question that you know the answer, who told you to jump and say the answer? They didn't ask you. They're asking someone else. If they tried everything and nobody answered, you come and say, listen, I have the answer for you. You don't want it to suffer. Nobody asks you. There's people who cannot. Anything they hear right away, they jump. That's called Istera belagina kishkishkaria. 1 penny in a box makes a lot of noise. You don't want to be like this. You want to be the best and to talk as less as possible. We're not here to impress anyone. We're not here to improve our reputation. We're the greatest, we're the smartest. We're not in a competition here. We want one thing only, that Hashem would like us. When will He like me? When I speak a lot of nonsense? When I speak about movies? When I speak about sport? When I speak about Obama? When I speak about Russia and China and the Hezbollah? That's when He's going to like me? Or He's going to like me when I speak about His Torah,